Oh, that joke though. Yeah, Jesus. Luke just told a great joke, but
For the first time ever.
yeah, and it wasn't even on camera. But nevertheless,
Almost got on camera.
yeah, Royal Rumble weekend is in the books. NXT Takeover San Antonio and the Royal Rumble and the Royal Rumble itself is in the books. So naturally, you got to review it, right?
Oh, for sure.
We got to review it. We got to see what we
Why
thought
the hell
about
not?
these both events. Technically, only one event for me. I didn't actually watch Takeover this weekend on
What?
Saturday. I didn't. No.
What?
I don't have the network anyway, but
Well, you still
I didn't
watched
wanna watch
online.
it. Yeah, but I didn't feel like watching it. Honestly, I knew it was gonna be a great show anyway,
Yeah,
and
it
I know
was.
people said you said it yourself that it was a great show. Anyway.
It was a 10-10.
All of these NXT takeovers are pretty much fantastic
Yeah.
because they have less limits than the main roster stuff. Obviously,
Because Triple H tells them you can do whatever the hell you want.
yeah,
That's why.
NXT has more of an indie feel. I feel like to it. More
Well,
indie a
yeah,
little bit.
especially they go to these smaller arenas.
Yeah.
You know, all those fans jam packed in there. All that noise is together then. It's not like a bigger arena. You know, some fans might not be into it. Some fans are really into it. All these NXT fans are really into it. They're watching every single match. They're not leaving. So yeah, it was a great show. I thought.
Yeah, we'll get into the matches. I can't really say much about the matches themselves. I don't have grades for Takeover, like I said, because I didn't watch it. I can't grade anything I haven't seen, so
Yeah.
it's got to be pretty hard. I do have the results. I do have who won. I'm sure there are fantastic matches, as I said
They
before.
were, as I said.
I kind of want to focus on what happened. Well, not what happened so much as what we thought about it, because it's 3 days after this stuff has happened. 4 for Takeover.
Yeah.
People have had time to see what happened.
Yeah.
And watch the show for crying out loud.
Yeah,
so.
that's the thing with us. We try to not do it real too early, but we try not to do it too late either. So Wednesday is like the right in the middle there. So that's why we do it on Wednesdays.
Yeah, so
Typical day.
we'll try to focus on what we thought about it more so, because of course people know what happened.
Yeah.
So we don't have to go through it for them again. But first match of the night was Ty Dillinger taking on Eric Young. Eric Young wins, obviously. It's first pay-per-view match, or
Yeah.
for
As I
NXT
said.
at least. Typically, that person's going to win. Dillinger's a jobber for the main guys on NXT anyway.
Yeah. Crowd went nuts though when Dillinger came out. He kicked off the show, and then as you said, he lost. I don't know if you want me to say they debuted later on somewhere else, but he did debut.
can.
He did debut in the Royal Rumble at the number 10 spot. So
Should've done it.
Dillinger, I mean, I don't know if they're going to keep him on NXT there for a little bit longer. You know,
Yeah.
to keep this Eric Young thing going, maybe, possibly, or if they're going to bring him up to the main roster. He wasn't on Raw or SmackDown this past week, so we'll have to see. I think it'd be better if they did keep him in NXT for a little bit longer, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. Then the next match was another, pretty much a similar match to this one, only basically a different heel-face connotation, I guess, because in the previous match, Eric Young's the heel,
Yeah.
Dillinger's the face. This one, Roger Strong's the face, and
Yeah.
CN, Andrade Cien Almas, is the heel, technically. But Roderick Strong wins again.
Eric Young's better as a heel anyway, so.
Yeah. But Roderick Strong wins this one, of course. Again, another guy making his debut at a pay-per-view for NXT at least, or at a takeover. I don't know if you want to call it a pay-per-view.
It's a
necessarily.
pay-per-view.
Paying for the network pay-per-view at least.
It's a pay-per-view.
Yeah, but again, as expected, guy who, and again, Almas, jobber guys, the up-and-comers to NXT, so it was an obvious thing, just a good match overall. He puts on great matches, I'll say, CN.
He does, and that's what jobbers typically do, and that's how they keep having a job, because sometimes you don't really want to see, like last night on SmackDown, the one women's match, you had the women jobber against, who was that, Becky Lynch?
Carmella.
Yeah, Carmella. So that's from going city to city, but if they keep you around, that's what they're gonna do for you because they like you, but they really don't like you good enough because there's other guys out there that are better than you.
Yeah. And then I think it was sometime after this match and before the next match. I would have to guess this happened then because they were previewing the tag team match, the Seth Rollins invasion.
It was after the tag team match.
After?
It was
They must
after
have been
the
talking
tag team
about
match.
that.
Yes, it was right after the tag team match.
So I already mentioned it.
Because as I told him before we came on air, I had dozed off there for a little bit, and then during the tag team match. I couldn't remember what it was. It was a tag team match. And then all I heard was, "This is Takeover, isn't it?" And I'm like, whoa, what the hell's going on? I had to rewind it there for a little bit on the network. But yeah, the tag team match was right after the Strong Almas, and then the Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I was just iffy on when Seth Rollins happened. But yeah, that tag team match was DIY, taking on the Authors of Pain. Authors of Pain win again. They haven't lost at all, have they?
No, they have not.
They're undefeated. Now tag team champions. It was a David versus Goliath story, I'm sure. From what I saw, what I read, it was a David versus Goliath. They focused on Gargano. Ciampa came in, tried to save the day. Almost did. Did in the end.
As they've done, within the past couple of months, going back to NXT Brooklyn. That's how Ciampa and what's his name?
Gargano.
Yeah, Gargano have been since then. So it was a good match. I mean, like I said, I dozed off, so I missed most of it. But yeah.
Yeah, but then the Seth Rollins takeover at Takeover almost.
He took that bitch over, as you said.
Yeah, he came out, called out Triple H, finally wising up, showing up at NXT where Triple H runs. And
as you said last week as well,
yes.
I don't know if we got that on camera or not, but he did tell me, and I tweeted about it as soon as it happened. So you can go check out our Twitter there at ATGL16 and watch the video from last week, the wrestling part. I don't know if he said it or not on camera, but he did tell me this is what they should do. I thought at first, like, what? Like, why? And I'm like, well, all right. After a couple of minutes of us talking last week, that would be cool, but I said, no, they won't do that. They won't do that. Well, they did do that. And Rollins showed up at TakeOver and took over TakeOver.
Yeah, only for a bit. Triple H came out, sick the security on him.
Well, it's typical WWE. You knew that was going to happen. You knew nothing significant was going to happen because they got a couple months here before WrestleMania, to have this story come together and then finally culminate at WrestleMania. Hopefully, more than likely. I mean, Samoa Joe debuted on Monday Night Raw. And the final segment at the end, Triple H came out, talked about Seth frickin' Rollins, as he said how many times. And then Rollins came out, and then Joe attacked him. Now, it came out today that Rollins re-injured his knee. Now, if that's storyline purposes, let it be that. Hopefully it is, rather than him actually re-injuring his knee that he blew out about a year and a half ago now. So, hopefully it's for storyline purposes, and hopefully we still get that Triple H Rollins match at WrestleMania. Because if he is actually hurt, his knee's injured again, I don't know what they're going to do with that. They'll probably just scrap it all together. Triple H won't be facing anybody. But I could also see them having Triple H against Samoa Joe, though. If that's the case, because he brought him out. He attacked Rollins. That's how he made his debut. You could hear the crowd chanting, "Joe's going to kill you." He's had that saying, "Come with him, go along with him," for his whole entire career, because he is that muscle buster, for a signature move. He is that big, strong guy, that no one really likes. He's going to be a heel, he is. He obviously debuted as a heel against a face in Rollins, but hopefully Rollins isn't hurt and we get the match coming up here soon. More than likely Rollins is going to be facing Joe at Fastlane if he's not hurt, but Fastlane's 4 weeks away now, 5 weeks away, first weekend in March, I believe. So about a month. So if he is hurt, he does have a month to recover from it, and then they'll evaluate him if he is and go forward with it from there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Rollins took over TakeOver, and then Samoa Joe debuted on Raw on Monday.
Yeah. Getting back into TakeOver, the match following that was the Fatal 4-Way for the women's title, the NXT women's title.
Yeah.
Asuka versus Nikki Cross versus Billie Kay versus Peyton Royce. Asuka wins again.
It was actually a good match.
Was?
Yeah, it was. Asuka got left in the ring there for a little bit. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, they took Nikki Cross up to the announce table, up by the entrance, and they put her through a table, a regular table, by the announce table, and then they came back into the ring, and then Asuka just went ham on both of them, and then that's how she retained. But yeah, it was a good match.
All right.
And as we said last week, we thought Asuka would win
Yeah.
because really there's no other big name women in NXT at the moment.
I don't think.
And then you can keep this going if you have her retain. And then I think she's going to be losing that NXT Takeover Orlando probably around WrestleMania time, and then
I would have to guess to Nikki Cross
probably, and then that gives Sanity a good faction there, and then maybe you put the tag team titles on their two guys, and then Eric Young's winning the NXT title, and then Sanity's rolling in NXT there after WrestleMania. I'd love to see that. I really like Eric Young.
Yeah. Typical with factions, though, give them all the gold.
Yeah.
As sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And then the main event, the Battle of the Entrances.
Yes.
Bobby Roode versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Both were glorious and phenomenal, to go by AJ Styles. I really don't know what to say for Nakamura, but Styles was with Nakamura in New Japan, so we'll leave it at that.
All right. But the Battle of the Entrances, as I'm going to call it. I'm sure it was a good match. I'm sure it was.
It was.
Bobby Roode winning the NXT Championship.
The crowd was into it from the start. As you said, the Battle of the Entrances. That it gets the fans going. Even at home, with me, it's just it gets your blood boiling. Bobby Roode wins his first NXT title. James Storm's probably kicking himself because he decided to go back to TNA after he had two matches in NXT. But then he went back, and then Bobby Roode leaves. Once he came back after they reformed Beer Money, they could have Beer Money going right now at the same time too. Maybe they could. Bobby Roode would be the NXT champion, and then maybe they'd be the tag team champions at the same damn time. I don't know. I don't know if they do that or not. But James Storm's probably kicking himself. But yeah, Bobby Roode, new NXT champ. Now, I think Shinsuke was obviously supposed to retain. He got hurt. He hurt his knee, and he looked like he was in severe pain. Now, if it's storyline purposes, it's storyline purposes.
Yeah.
But it looked pretty bad. So I don't know if he's going to be out for 6 to 9 months, or if he's going to be out a month. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, for sure. And that's probably the biggest question coming out of Takeover, I'd have to say.
Well, yeah, how long is Shinsuke going to be out if he's actually hurt? But we'll have to see.
Yeah, and then you move on to the Royal Rumble itself. Starting with the kickoff and into the actual show itself. If we're talking about the main show itself, about the first half of it was pretty bland, not too great. No. Including the kickoff, it was really, really bland at the beginning.
Yeah, I didn't watch the kickoff show. So.
I only watched 2 of the kickoff shows, actually. I didn't even watch the third one, because I didn't want to watch it to begin with, because I knew it wasn't going to be anything special. I picked up in the kickoff show.
Were you surprised that Gallows and Anderson won?
Not exactly. But
I mean, did you pick them last week?
No.
Okay.
But because I thought kickoff show face was going to win.
Yeah, sure.
But I started with the 6-woman tag. That was the first one, actually. I didn't watch the Sasha versus Nia one. I knew it was going to be pretty much a squash.
Yeah.
It was. But the 6-woman tag match, the faces win. Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, and Naomi. To help set up Naomi getting her title match now at the Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
So Naomi's the new number 1 contender, but kickoff show, I didn't really care for it at all. I picked it up halfway through anyway.
Yeah.
So, because I was just sitting there, I'm like, well, I should probably watch this kickoff show because there's matches that I kind of need to have on here. So, but then the tag team match, which I felt like wasn't that great for the first part. It felt like Raw. Not so much like Raw, but like they were putting in all their signature stuff in really early into that match. Like Cesaro was doing the springboard uppercut like minutes into the match. I'm like, this is a really fast-paced match at the moment. Then it kind of slowed down. The 2 refs thing was kind of weird initially.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't watch the kickoff show. So
it didn't really become a factor.
I don't know anything about this match.
It didn't become a factor until Sheamus Bro kicked one of them. And I knew that would be the finish.
As you suspect.
And I knew the finish was going to be the way it was. As soon as the other ref went down, like, oh, there's only one ref now. Someone's going to cheat. And that's what happened. Anderson, with the tights, pins Cesaro. And, of course, the heels get the cheat. And they pick up the victory and the titles, which I'm not 100% surprised about. Because
I'm not either. I mean, hell, I picked them last week, so I'm happy about it.
It would have been really unfortunate if they didn't win.
I mean, it worked. What's the right word I want to use? I don't know what word to use. It helped with my prediction for the Royal Rumble halfway of it, but we'll get to the Rumble, which didn't happen because I thought it would happen. I think it's going to happen after WrestleMania now. They might, keep the titles on them till then, and then take them off and then go with somebody. I don't know, but because then it goes back to the faction, so
yes.
You know where I'm going with that.
Yeah, but I'm not 100% surprised because, I mean, you think about it. Think about how many times they've had tag team title opportunities against the New Day when they were still champs.
Well, that's the New Day. That WWE doesn't want to bury them. They'd rather bury Sheamus and Cesaro.
But they've had so many tag team title matches so far, and they come up short so many times. Yeah. It would have just been even worse if they didn't win here.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% surprised. I feel like it was necessary to have them win.
Yeah, because they've almost
also to have heel champions.
They've been in WWE for almost a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good that they won.
Yeah. The next match after that, just kick off the main show. Well, Sasha and I don't really care about. Didn't even bother watching.
Nia Jax won.
Obviously, she killed her, and then again on Monday. But Bayley Charlotte to kick off the show. I mean, Michaels technically kind of opened up the show, but it was at the very end of the pre-show technically to kick off the show. But Bayley out there first, get the crowd going for the first match. Charlotte, I feel like it was an average match. Could have been put on Raw. I wouldn't know the difference for a title match.
It could have been.
There wasn't too many big spots or anything going on. I feel like there was a couple of botches in there as well.
Yes, there was.
It was pretty average in my opinion.
So check out Botchamania for that.
The main thing was just the natural selection on the apron. That's pretty much the one thing that happened that was kind of different and more exciting about the match, but that was the finish. Yeah. That was the only thing. So fairly average, I'd say, for that title match.
Yep.
And then in what became really sensible, what happened in the Rumble, why this match happened so early, Owens versus Roman in that no DQ match for the Universal Championship. I was like, well, this is coming on so early. But then what happened in the Rumble, I kind of understood. But Kevin Owens retains in a no DQ match because, I mean, it only fits his character that he's been going with, needing someone else to help him to win. Jericho's in the cage up there, of course.
A shark cage.
A shark cage, which, of course, you had to make Roman look good, put him in the shark cage himself because Jericho didn't want to go in, so Roman's got to beat him up. But I thought this match was great. Not too much wrestling going on in this one. More of the spots, more of extreme spots like that. The frog splash through a table, the mountain or pyramid of chairs that Owens set up that he ended up going through himself.
I was wondering what they're going to do with that, and then obviously Owens ended up going through it anyways.
Multiple table spots, announce table spots specifically, one of which, the unfortunate thing, probably the most unfortunate thing ever in wrestling, when the announce table doesn't break.
Yep.
That was the
that didn't break.
Surprising it didn't break, considering it was Roman, but
nevertheless,
Braun Strowman of all people come out to help Kevin Owens beats up Roman Reigns, chokeslam onto the announce table, not breaking it, which was just sad, and power slam through a table that Roman set up in the corner. Owens wins. It's all good. Thing I hated about this match the most, Roman kicks out of a Superman punch with brass knuckles on Owens' fist. Like, it's so dumb. Like, you're really making him look strong here. You're talking about a guy like William Regal back in the early 2000s. That was how he won all his matches, basically, as a heel. He had the brass knucks. He punches one guy. Just a regular punch, and the guy's out cold. But Roman kicks out after a Superman punch with them on. I saw someone say that the knuckles actually fell off, though, before that.
I think they did, because he got back up, and they weren't even on his hands.
Yeah.
So, I don't even think he punched him with them.
Yeah, but, I mean, that was what the intended purpose was, and that was what I think they were set on commentary. That's what happened, of course, that they sold, that he hit him with the brass.
Yeah,
knuckles.
that Michael Cole read off his piece of paper with.
Yeah. But I felt like it was a great match. Refreshing to see an actual no DQ match, an extreme match, actually have extreme stuff going on.
Yeah.
Oftentimes lately, you have these extreme matches, and they don't really play to that stipulation too much. Mm-hmm. It's just the regular wrestling match with some of this stuff thrown in. This was more focused on the no DQ aspect of the entire stipulation and whatnot, actually having big spots, having extreme stuff happen that is supposed to happen in matches like this. So I felt like it was refreshing almost in the end.
I was happy Owens retained. I mean, I really didn't know what they were going to do with this. It all depended on what they did with this match, on who won, what would happen leading up to WrestleMania, with what I had said back in December. But I sort of changed my mind because I really didn't know what they're going to do. But it looks like that's what they're going to do now with what I said back in December with him and Jericho. But we'll have to see how it plays out from now to Fastlane, and then I'll give you my take on it then.
All right.
But it was a good match. It was a good match.
Yeah. Then you have the cruiserweight title match: Neville versus Rich Swann, and what was probably one of the better cruiserweight matches in WWE main roster since they came into Raw, for sure.
For sure, yeah. Well, yeah, probably the best cruiserweight match since the Cruiserweight Classic Championship.
Not so many flips or anything, but that's okay. Cruiserweight is not defined by its flips and stuff, but mostly because it was given a lot of time. Because it needed to have a lot of time. Because there was only 4 matches on the main card besides the Royal Rumble, and it was a 4-hour show. Yeah. The actual show itself.
Yeah, they do have, their little, segments in between them. Your backstage stuff. You're promoting the network, commentary desk. And then the video aspect of it. Yeah, the video packages and stuff. Which we'll get to the 4 hours, but this match, I'm glad Neville won. Yeah, he did. I'm glad they gave him the time to do their stuff. And that's what they just need to let these guys go out there and do all their moves. Yeah. If they get hurt, they get hurt. That's why you're in wrestling. Yeah. You know what's going to happen, if you do a move wrong. You know what's going to happen, if, your opponent does something wrong, which makes you do that move wrong. So, WWE they just need to settle down and let these guys do their moves. And more people will start watching it, because no one knows. And I'm glad Neville won just because you have a face of the cruiserweights now. Everybody knows who Neville is. No one knows who Rich Swann is. No one knows who T.J. Perkins is. Some people know who the Brian Kendrick is because he was in WWE before, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm glad Neville won. We'll have to see what they do moving forward with it, because there's really no other big contenders, if you ask me, other than Perkins and Swann that have been in the title picture for quite some time now. So we'll have to see if they bring up a guy that's been wrestling on Raw. Maybe they give Jack Gallagher a chance. I think he's getting over with the fans. I think a lot of people are going to start liking him a lot more. Maybe give him a chance at the title. But what they need to promote, they only give on SmackDown. They only give them a short little clip to promote 205 Live right at the end. Mm-hmm. Who knows if anybody's watching SmackDown in the main event? I think a lot of people would be because it's the main event, but you just don't know. You need to have like title shots on 205 Live every single week or something. Just give these guys, just hand them out left and right. Get rid of that. But, because maybe people will start watching it, but if you let these guys do their moves, people are going to watch it because the moves that these guys do, they're ridiculous. So, I'm glad Neville won. Going back.
Yeah. Glad that Neville won for sure. He definitely deserves a championship of any sort. And I said it from the beginning that he should have been the first Cruiserweight champion anyway. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Either that or whoever they had win the Cruiserweight Classic.
Which is what they did. Which I didn't like because it's like, oh, he's the Cruiserweight champion. Who is this guy? Yep. Why is he the champion? How did he win this championship or whatever? I realize it's what you're supposed to be able to watch the network and find out, of course, but I feel like you should have put it on like someone like Neville, who's already there in the WWE, all right, on the main roster, I should say, I guess, and just put it on him to begin because he's the cruiserweight. He is the cruiserweight, or have a mini tournament on Raw maybe to begin the cruiserweight stuff. Yeah. Who knows? But nevertheless, I like that they've changed him up, not letting him do the Red Arrow as the finisher anymore since he is a heel now. Yeah. Him having that Rings of Saturn finisher submission, which. I kind of got mad about last night. Dean Ambrose pulling it out as a rest hold against Styles on SmackDown instead of when the previous night or 2 nights ago, Neville uses it to win a match. Dean does the same exact thing, and it's just weird. It's just like a rest hold, So I felt like that was really weird. I even said it live when I was watching, like, oh, Ambrose out here stealing Neville's moves. But nevertheless, and then you get into the match right before the Rumble, and it was definitely the match of the night. Probably one of the best matches in WWE in a long time.
I guess I could bring this back into the picture.
Since it was the WWE title match. Yeah. In fact, John Cena versus AJ Styles, and John Cena gets his 16-time championship.
He's a 16-time champ.
16-time champion.
Champ's here.
It's sad that Styles lost, of course. I get why they did it. a little bit. I mean, Royal Rumble was a bigger occasion, obviously, for him to win 16. It makes sense. But seeing how the rumors are playing out that Cena might lose at Elimination Chamber now for 2 weeks.
He will.
What was the point? Just keep it on Styles, have Styles lose at Elimination
The point
Chamber.
was to make him the 16-time champion.
Yeah.
That's why. And that's what I said last week. If they have him win it, they need to have him lose it right away. Meaning they could have had him lose it last night, which I thought Samoa Joe was going to come to SmackDown since he didn't end up debuting in the Rumble match, but he came to Raw, as we said a little bit ago. The point was to make him a 16-time champ and then have him lose it right away. Right away now it's 2 weeks, so it's not like a month in between. You got 2 weeks because you got the Elimination Chamber coming up on the 12th.
Yeah, but it was a great match overall. I mean, these guys it was very similar, I think, to their match against SummerSlam, though.
Yeah.
Specifically, like, even the finish and stuff, because, I mean, you think about their SummerSlam match, Styles kicked out of 2 AAs, one, just a regular one, won the Avalanche AA off the second rope, and then they almost copied the exact finish from SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Styles Clash, goes out for the phenomenal form, only this time, Cena hits him with an AA, rolls him over, gets another AA in back-to-back AAs, wins the title that way.
The match was really long. As you said, it was probably the match of the night.
Well, easily, I think.
Yeah.
But then you had the Royal Rumble match, which is the match, of course,
for
the
the
Royal Rumble.
But
it was interesting. The thing about this match, though, was it lacked a lot of the stuff that Rumbles that we've been used to seeing at Royal Rumbles. Surprise entrance, returns, debuts. There wasn't really any of that.
There was one.
There was one debut, and that was Ty Dillinger, but everyone saw that coming.
Yeah.
Everyone knew that was probably going to happen anyway. They would have been disappointed if it didn't happen. That's how much people were waiting for it. But nevertheless, I mean, that was a little bit of a wrinkle that was...
Vince will say number 30 was a surprise entrant.
I would have to say number 30 was a bit of a surprise.
It was. I mean, I knew it was coming then after I think I said number 27 because you still had Goldberg and Taker to come out.
Yeah, and then there's one spot left.
And 27 was Enzo, and you still had one spot left.
Yeah, but I'm sitting there at home like, all right, who's 30 then? Because like all the big names, Lesnar, Goldberg, and Taker are already out there. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? You know, and then Bennett. Roman Reigns comes out
of all people.
And then they tease you that he might win it as him being in the final two against Randy Orton, who won, by the way. I should probably know that by now, but Randy Orton wins the Royal Rumble. I was honestly thinking, was there someone there that they were thinking about putting out there? They just didn't do it, possibly, at 30. And they
like somebody coming back?
Like someone debuting or something. Maybe they thought Joe maybe at the Rumble, but they thought, we'll insert him into the storyline with Rollins and Triple H then. So we can get a match at Fastlane, possibly.
Yeah, because who would you put Rollins up against Fastlane? That's the thing.
Exactly.
He needs a match at Fastlane.
Yeah,
so.
you need something to build towards that. The only sad thing about that Fastlane match is that Rollins is going to have to go over in that match. He's going to have to win that match just to justify him facing Triple H at WrestleMania then.
Well, you know Triple H is probably going to come out. Who knows if that match is even going to happen, though.
Yes, of course.
Because Rollins, he might be actually hurt. He might actually be injured. But who knows if it's actually for storyline purposes.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out and see. It just came out this morning, so we don't know hardly anything about it. I mean, you could have had, Finn Balor, as I said, come out at 30. You could have had, Shawn Michaels come out, for God's sakes, since they're in San Antonio, just because. I mean, he did kick off the show. What a way to end the show. Some other legend. I don't know. Maybe The Rock. He came out after the Rumble to congratulate Roman Reigns 2 years ago when they were in Philly, and now they're going back to Philly next year for the 30th annual Royal Rumble at the Wells Fargo Center. So, I don't really know who else they would have had come out at 30.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Styles. That's why I said after the Cena Styles match, after Styles lost, well, would they have Styles win the Rumble match? Or even be in it, for that matter? Because you knew one of the, at least one, maybe two, both of them, the losers of the title matches would be in the Rumble match, because they've done that in years past. I thought about that going into last week, but I'm like, no. But it was a big surprise. A lot of people will say that Roman debuted. Well, not debuted. He came out at 30.
Yeah.
He's been in WWE for a couple years.
Yeah, but your Final Four in the Royal Rumble was Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, and Chris Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho was in the match for over an hour. He was a 61-minute man, he's calling himself now. He broke history. He's been in the Rumble for close to 5 hours in his Royal Rumble appearances. I believe he's been in like 7, 8, or 9 of them. I don't really know. But he's been in there for close to a total of 5 hours. All he did was slide underneath ropes. You're not technically out because you have to go over the top rope.
Yeah.
You can go under and, still be on the mat. Bray, I'm real happy about what they're doing with Bray Wyatt. I've been saying it for about 2-3 years. They need to have Bray Wyatt win a championship in WWE. I don't care what championship it is. Now I'm really happy they waited to give him a championship because more than likely they're going to give him. That leads to the Wyatt family situation. We said Cena's probably going to lose his Elimination Chamber. The Elimination Chamber, you got John Cena, you got AJ Styles, you got Baron Corbin, you got Bray Wyatt, you got The Miz, and you got Dean Ambrose. Yeah. So, as your competitors in that match. So, I think Bray's going to win that, and then that's going to set up the Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Which I don't think it's going to be the main event. They're going to say it's going to be the main event, but I don't think it's going to be the main event.
Yeah.
Because you got other stuff.
Well, then that just goes against everything they said.
Well, they've done it before. They'll do it again.
But I felt like the match itself was nothing special. The Rumble match itself. It stands on its star power alone, really.
Yeah.
This match.
Just you knew somebody from the Cruiserweights was going to debut. You had Jack Gallagher. Who else debuted the other 8? You could put Kalisto in that Cruiserweight, conversation. He's that type of guy. I said Mark Henry would be in it. They're in Texas.
Obviously.
And then Dillinger. And then Ellsworth.
Big guys.
Yeah, you need big guys.
To help establish.
But the one big guy that was not in the Rumble was Kane.
For the first time.
For the first time in forever. So.
He hasn't been on TV yet ever.
He has not. I don't even know if he's still doing live events. I mean, he was at the live event that we were at, but who knows? Yeah, go on.
And the other thing about those stars that Goldberg, Lesnar, Taker, they all entered within the last 5 entries.
Well, because they knew they couldn't last more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, and they all exited about as fast as they came out.
Yeah.
Because Goldberg came out 2 spots after Lesnar killed Enzo at 27.
Oh, Lesnar killed the whole entire ring.
Well, yes.
Everybody that was in the ring.
But
to make him look good.
Yeah, and then Goldberg destroys Lesnar again, which is really weird.
And now you're going to get that Goldberg-Lesnar fight at WrestleMania, and that's what I'm saying. The co-main event would be the Orton-Wyatt. I think the main event's going to be the Lesnar-Goldberg. Yeah. I think it's going to be for the title.
Yeah.
The Universal title.
I feel like it's an unexpected winner in Randy Orton for sure. And I said this last week. This is probably one of the more unexpected, more unpredictable Royal Rumbles in recent history. Who's going to win this one? Randy Orton, of all people, win it. And I know that a lot of people were probably a little bit scared when it got down to the final 3 even, with Roman.
Yeah, Roman was going to win it.
Roman, Wyatt, and Orton, because they're like, oh God, Roman's going to do it. He's going to take on both Wyatts.
And beat him.
And he's going to win.
And then Vince would just be back there smiling because everybody would be so pissed off.
But no, surprisingly, it's Randy Orton. And initially
second time he's won the Rumble.
And initially, everyone was getting kind of upset because they thought, oh, here we go, Cena Orton for 1 millionth time. Yeah. They haven't faced each other at WrestleMania singles, though, for a title at all. They were in a triple threat match back in 24 with Triple H, but...
24?
Yeah, WrestleMania 24.
Oh, okay.
But that was the only time they've met in WrestleMania before, and it wasn't even a singles match, so it would be technically new. They are facing each other on SmackDown next week, though. Yeah. But never.
Who knows if that's going to be, for the title? Maybe they put the title on Orton, and then Cena. I doubt they'll do this, but and then
they're not. It's not for the title.
You don't know that until next week. Though they could change their minds though and make it for the title come SmackDown next week. And then he takes Cena's spot in the chamber match.
Well, then what's the point of him winning the Rumble?
I know that's the thing. Yeah. I doubt they'll do it. But it's WWE for it. They'll do stuff that people don't want, like Roman Reigns entering the Royal Rumble at number 30. So I doubt they're going to do it, but it's a possibility.
Yeah. There's better guys that could have won this Rumble, like Bray Wyatt.
I would have been ecstatic about that.
Chris Jericho would have been a really special one, I think, especially with Kevin Owens being the Universal Champion still. Yeah. Even Sami Zayn I would have been happy with. Because I feel like Sami Zayn would have just been perfect for a Royal Rumble type victory. Mm-hmm. Like a marathon man kind of.
I think
that character of him just being able to take beatings. And
I wouldn't be surprised if he wins, if they bring back the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal for the 4th year, if they're still going to call it that, Memorial Battle Royal. Well, it's not the Memorial one, it's the 4th one. I wouldn't be surprised if they have him win it. Now, going on with Samoa Joe, back to him. Once he's done with Rollins, I think they'll put him against Strowman, because somebody has to stop Strowman. That makes Joe look good. Both be heels, but, still, everybody will like Samoa Joe over Braun Strowman, because they know who he is.
Yeah.
And then, going back to the Goldberg-Lesnar, I think Goldberg beats Owens for the Universal title at Fastlane.
Well, if that's the match, you will.
Well,
no doubt about it.
Yeah. And then Goldberg faces Lesnar in the main event, they'll say then, for the Universal title. Lesnar will win the Universal title. Hopefully, Balor will debut then the night after WrestleMania, since he didn't debut at the Royal Rumble, instead of Nakamura, since he's, who knows if he's actually hurt.
Re-debut.
Yes, come back, return. And then you got your Owens Jericho for the U.S. title then, as I said, back in December. And then Jericho leaves to go back to Fozzy. And then you got Sami Zayn against Owens again. And then U.S. Championship, maybe put the U.S. title on Sami Zayn. And then you have Owens against Lesnar then maybe at SummerSlam.
All right. That's a lot right there.
But I like to look into the future. I like to plan ahead and stuff.
Yeah. Storylines that were developed, which is a big thing that the Royal Rumble does.
Yeah.
It sets up future storylines, which you're already going to get into. But
yeah.
Some storylines that they've kind of developed. One's really huge, obviously, I think. But Strowman being a monster in the Rumble, eliminating like 6-7 dudes.
7 guys.
7 in total. Making him...
The most by any competitor this year.
Yeah, continuing him looking like a monster. It took 4 dudes just to eliminate him. Was it Ambrose, Sammy, Dillinger, and then Corbin knocks him out eventually in the end, making
which I was surprised about. They had Baron Corbin eliminate Braun Strowman.
But then he didn't do anything after that. Sadly, Baron Corbin could have had a great showing, I think.
He was a possible candidate to win it.
Yeah, but Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt clashing, and then continuing it again on SmackDown. Yeah. The dissension of the Wyatt family almost, which is going to come full circle, especially if Bray Wyatt wins the Elimination Chamber, I think, because then Randy Orton with that title opportunity at WrestleMania coming. If it's Bray, it's going to be, they're all going to clash. Maybe even Harper gets included into that title match at WrestleMania, possibly make it a
maybe, but what do you do with John Cena? Because that's what I said, if you had Joe debut on SmackDown, you have John Cena against Samoa Joe, which they could still do, but who you have facing Braun Strowman. That's why I said maybe have Braun Strowman win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal then. That's a possibility. But since Joe's on Raw, what do you do with Cena? Maybe put him up against Corbin. Maybe Harper. I mean, they tagged together last night on SmackDown. But who knows?
Well, I think the biggest storyline coming out of this Royal Rumble, I think, is Roman Reigns eliminating The Undertaker.
Well, yeah, that's obviously going to set up that between those two, Undertaker and Reigns at WrestleMania. And The Undertaker will get his, what is he, 23-1 right now?
I don't know.
He'll get one more win at WrestleMania in Orlando. I don't think they'd have Reigns beat Undertaker.
Heel Roman Reigns defeats The Undertaker, retires The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Biggest heel in the company.
And everybody's going to hate him even more.
But if he's a heel, then it's perfectly justified.
It is. That is perfect then. But I think they'll have...
Finally getting heel
Roman Reigns. I think what they'll do with that, I think they'll have The Undertaker win. Everybody's going to be happy that Reigns lost. But then the next night on Raw, a week after, Reigns was going to get back into the title picture and everybody's just going to hate him even more. Because WWE's done that before and they'll do it again. So I think that's what they'll do with that.
All right. I didn't do any... Well, I had grades for all the matches. I didn't bother doing it. But I'll just go to the grade of the entire show itself. A B+. Because, well, counting pre-show, the first, 4 hours or so of the entire thing.
Yeah.
About... was not the best. 3 or 4 hours of it was not the best. The main matches, the title matches, the Universal and the WWE Championship, they were great. I liked both of those. Both were A's in my opinion. And then the Royal Rumble match itself was alright. Could have been better. But then everything else kind of brought it down just a little bit. It could have been way better than this, I honestly thought. If the other title matches were anything more special. Granted, the Cruiserweight match was one of the better ones we've seen. The Cruiserweights are capable of much more, though.
Well, that's what I said. If you let them do their moves, you know, everybody's going to start watching it
like I said,
more and more.
Like I said, the Bayley Charlotte thing felt like Raw almost, like a Raw main event type match, more than a pay-per-view
I'm
match.
glad they got it out of the way, though, and it kicked off the show, rather than having it in the middle of the show and then downgrading everything after that then, or even before it, for that matter. So
yeah.
You said, what did you say, B minus?
B plus.
B plus. I rated Takeover at 10 out of 10. I rated the Royal Rumble an 8 out of 10 just because you had that women's match, as we just said, and then I thought everything else was good. I mean, the pre-show stuff, you know, really didn't really come into consideration for that. But with Roman Reigns entering at number 30, it brought it down from a 10 to an 8, or else I would have had a 10 of 10 for the Royal Rumble as well. I thought the whole weekend was terrific for WWE, you know, including Raw and SmackDown last night. Raw and SmackDown were both good this past week, especially Raw with Samoa Joe debuting there at the end. So I'd rate the Royal Rumble an 8 of 10, and now the next Takeover special is not going to be until NXT Takeover Orlando the night before WrestleMania. Now it's not going to be 2 nights before. They switched the Hall of Fame induction ceremony to Friday night instead of Saturday because, as they said, it's taken down. It's like downgrading WrestleMania somewhat because people are watching on Friday. They don't watch the Hall of Fame thing, and then they forget about WrestleMania, or if they watch it, they don't think it's that good. So hopefully they get another good weekend like this past weekend in April there, first weekend in April. So we'll have to see. So the next NXT TakeOver specials then, which would be April 1st then, April Fool's Day, our 1-year anniversary, if you want to call it that. And then the next pay-per-view is Elimination Chamber and then Fastlane. And then you got WrestleMania. So should be a fun ride from now until WrestleMania. You know, it always is on the road to WrestleMania. We'll be having previews for Elimination Chamber next week, and then reviewing it the week after, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what we're going to do?
Yep.
And then Fastlane, have to look at the dates. Fastlane's the March 5th. So the week before that, we'll preview it, and then the week after, we'll review it, and then I'll be turning 21 on the 11th of March, and then we'll have WrestleMania. So that's all I have. I don't know what else you have to say.
Nothing.
Question of the week from another video this week: who's going to win Super Bowl 51? Patriots or Falcons? Question of the day: Bruins or Capitals tonight? Like us here on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube as well. I totally forgot to say that in the other video. So subscribe on YouTube. Share this with your friends and family. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Follow both of us on Twitter. You'll see those links on our Twitter page. So buy our merchandise as well. And then with that, we'll sign off and we'll see you next week.